As the grand doors opened, the last person anyone expected to see stepped inside, pregnant, uninvited, and ready to change everything. Hello, friends. Welcome to our story. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. New York, London, Toronto, or maybe Johannesburg. We'd love to know. Sarah Lawson was not just any woman. She was a strikingly beautiful black woman whose elegance and strength came from a lineage rooted in resilience. Raised in a modest but close-knit family on the outskirts of the city, Sarah knew the value of hard work from a young age. Her mother, a single parent, had worked two jobs to keep Sarah and her younger brother in school, instilling in her a fierce sense of responsibility and independence. Sarah's intelligence and charm opened doors. She earned a scholarship to a prestigious university where fate threw her into the orbit of Richard Sterling, heir to one of the biggest billionaire fortunes in the country. Their meeting was electric. Sarah's warmth softened Richard's steely businessman exterior, and for a time, their love seemed to transcend worlds. But Sarah's journey was far from simple. Before Richard truly knew her, Sarah had worked extensively behind the scenes for Victoria Sterling, Richard's mother. Victoria, a social and business strategist famed for her ruthless efficiency, had once tested Sarah's loyalty and drive by hiring her as an executive assistant to handle delicate family affairs and simmering business crises. Sarah had sacrificed much in this role, often walking a tightrope balancing her own ambitions against the Sterling's high demands. One such mission was a significant financial ordeal. The Sterling family empire was facing unprecedented liquidity issues, undisclosed to the public and even Richard. Victoria had tasked Sarah with salvaging a volatile deal that could either make or break their standing in elite financial circles. Sarah worked relentlessly, outperforming expectations and saving the family's fortunes. Yet instead of gratitude, her efforts became a source of suspicion. When Sarah's pregnancy became known, Victoria's cold fury emerged. She branded the pregnancy a calculated setup, a manipulative, gold-digging scheme to trap Richard in the Sterling legacy. The family's financial difficulties had made Victoria paranoid and protective. She feared any scandal could topple their empire and ruin carefully laid plans. Sarah's past efforts, rather than earning respect, were twisted into proof of deceit. Victoria's harsh rejection was not just of the pregnancy, but of Sarah herself. She publicly dismissed Sarah's motives with vicious accusations, branding her as opportunistic and unworthy. This rejection shattered Sarah, especially since Richard, overwhelmed by family loyalty and pressure, withdrew, leaving Sarah isolated and pregnant. Adding fuel to the fire, rumors seeded by Victoria's inner circle painted Sarah as a social climber, scheming for status rather than a woman bearing Richard's child. The stigma of gold digger accusations weighed heavily on Sarah, her strength tested to the extremes. Yet beneath the despair, a fire of determination grew. Sarah vowed not to be silenced or erased. Her love for Richard, mixed with her pain and newfound resolve, propelled her to plan her dramatic return, the wedding confrontation that would shake the millionaire world. The grand reception hall hums with elegance. Crystal chandeliers cast glimmers on polished marble floors. Tables adorned with white roses and gold accents catch the soft glow of candlelight. Richard Sterling, clad in a tailored tuxedo, stands beside his radiant bride, Evelyn, whose practiced smile barely masks brewing tension. Suddenly, the room's energy shifts. The grand doors swing open once more, and there she is, Sarah Lawson, her silhouette unmistakable against the glittering backdrop. Her hand rests protectively on her rounded belly, the courage in her gaze undeniable. Guests freeze mid-toast. Whispered questions ripple through the crowd like a release of held breath. Sarah walks forward with steady grace, eyes locked onto Richard's with an intensity that silences the room. "Richard," she speaks softly but firmly, the room hanging on her every word. "I'm carrying your child." The declaration hits like a tidal wave. A gasp escapes Evelyn's lips, a crack in her polished veneer. Victoria steps forward, her sharp eyes narrowing, voice dripping with disdain. "This is an elaborate setup, nothing but a gold digger's ploy," Victoria snaps, her reputation and empire threatened by the revelation. Murmurs of agreement bubble from select guests, the power of whispered rumors evident. But Sarah stands unwavering, her past sacrifices and knowledge of the Sterling family's darkest dealings fueling her resolve. Unexpectedly, James, Richard's longtime assistant, steps forward, holding documents that expose Evelyn's involvement in secret schemes aimed at undermining Richard's business empire, a betrayal unknown to many. The crowd gasps again as Evelyn's facade crumbles, her whispered alliances and manipulations laid bare. Sarah's integrity shines as the true victim and fighter for justice. Tensions morph into chaos as Richard's inner turmoil manifests. He must confront the consequences of years of blind loyalty to family and status, forcing a reckoning with what truly matters. In the aftermath of revelations, Richard finds solitude on the estate's balcony overlooking the city lights. The weight of betrayal, love, and truth weighs heavily. Messages from Sarah's courage and James's loyalty echo louder than the siren call of power and duty. Victoria's empire begins to show cracks as business partners and social allies retreat, unwilling to stand with a matriarch whose manipulative reign caused so much pain. Sarah, empowered and dignified, prepares for her child's arrival, not as a victim, but as a force reclaiming agency over her life and future. Invitations to reconciliation come from unexpected places, and the community begins to see the strength and grace beyond gossip and prejudice. At a decisive board meeting, Richard announces steps to reform family governance, supporting ethical leadership over legacy maintenance. Evelyn and her mother face social exile and financial penalties, their schemes exposed and punished. What would you do if you were Richard? Forgive and rebuild or protect what's left of your empire? Like, comment, and subscribe for more billionaire drama filled with betrayal, revenge, and karma. Stay tuned for the next story that will keep you on the edge of your seat.